Multnomah County. They just renovated the courthouse. How much did that cost? The courtroom's empty. Why is that? Because they had money for renovations. They had money for pretty things. They did not have money to pay actual defense attorneys to do their jobs. How many homeless people have heard the exact out of the attorneys that I did? Let me know if you've heard this one too. We have an overwhelming caseload, or we can't possibly defend every person that goes through our office. They'll lie to you and tell you they're not allowed to do their job. They're not allowed. They're not allowed. Then they'll tell you they're just like a regular attorney, but they're not. They are not. Because they'll keep on telling you things that a regular attorney can do that they outright refuse. I'm abused a lot. I'm also ignored. I am not the primary benefactor of your ignorance. Now let's get to Charlie. Charlie is the homeless guy who helped me to wrap my kayak. He knows Miss Farnsworth. Apparently her name isn't actually Farnsworth. He drives a black Honda, and they kicked him out of the parking lot over there at Tillamook Sporting Goods. He'd stayed there for 2 nights. He's got a Honda Civic. I've got a Honda Civic. His is spray painted black, and it's not a hatchback. And from what Charlie was telling me, they said that he was breaking into the storage bins and stealing stuff, and that, well, basically the cops wouldn't do anything. We already know that. They'll actually at least show up. If one of the business owners calls, it'll just take them for fucking ever. There's a lot of cops here who are crooked, and also I recorded them. I also recorded the mental health services here. See, it's not just the defense attorneys or public defender's office. Poor people can't afford a lawyer who's going to defend them, and, well, public defenders care about how much they're getting paid more so than the safety of their client. And allowing your client to get railroaded, allowing that to be put on their record and destroy their reputation as a human being, refusing to requisition body camera evidence, saying things like, oh, it'll take an act of God. Like hell it will. Like hell it will. The media had an easy enough time getting all sorts of footage that I was told it would take an act of God to get. Yeah. The Michelle Rodriguez assault. The media was able to get Waylon Lolitai's body camera. The Sammy Leon Lawrence IV assault, Sammy recorded it. The Zaid Atkinson situation was recorded by one of Zaid Atkinson's friends, and they were able to get the body camera evidence of it. Waylon Lolitai, one of my predators, pulled a gun on Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. Not just any gun. He had a Mossberg. Yeah. What are the chances he's got a double-aught 9-point spread in that motherfucker? That's not made for stopping a man. That's made for shredding a man to hamburger. And he pulled that on Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. He was the one with the shotgun. Waylon Lolitai is a violent-minded individual. He's also big. Played college football. Promotes violence. Now, this is Ashley Farnsworth, aka Ashley Heinrich. I recorded a conversation and I was able to find one of the other people that knows her. He was able to tell me what her real name is. She's not really Farnsworth's sister, according to the two gentlemen that I spoke with at the library. At first, I thought they said Pine Ridge. Ashley Pine Ridge. But it's actually Ashley Heinrich, I guess. I asked if it was Pine Ridge, and they corrected me. No, it's Heinrich, like Heinrich's. Anyway, she was talking to Charlie today. I saw her as I was leaving the Safeway, and see, that's the thing, is that she creeps me out, and I have to be fearful of her and her mouth, anything that she might try to pretend happened. Now, all these people have been very honest with me about their drug use, even on my YouTube channel. You know, if a prosecutor wanted to just roll through the homeless people here in Tillamook, he could just spend a week on my YouTube channel, spend 2 days with me on my YouTube channel. That'd give him enough to get a bunch of people investigating the stuff that's on my YouTube channel. That just sounds like a big mess, don't it? Multnomah County, how much did it cost for them to make a prettier place for the judges to sit on their fat asses and decide who's allowed to have rights and who isn't? Most of those decisions never went before a judge because I wasn't allowed to speak. Only my public pretender was allowed to speak. In many of those cases, I had to deal with not having a public pretender because the public pretender's office committed felonies. And what did the judges do? I was told I had 2 choices. I could either plead guilty to crimes I didn't commit, or I could sign a piece of paper that absolved the public pretender's office of wrongdoing. Where did that happen? Larimer County, Colorado. The same exact county that Claire Jordan lives in with her kids. The same place as Clearview Behavioral Health that committed a lot of felonies, including killing people at that facility. Now, I gave the description of Ashley Farnsworth to these guys, and they didn't know Ashley Farnsworth, but when I gave the description, they knew exactly who she was. The purple hair gave it away. So, one of the things that I gotta do is find a safe place to go through the evidence where I actually have access to do those things. I don't have access in my car, and no, I don't have access in the library either. That's partially because of physical disabilities that were because of abuse. It didn't start off with abuse. It started off as me having to move my entire machine. Well, I guess that was over abuse, but it was Joshua taking advantage of me is the reason that I had to leave my shop. He couldn't follow the rules, and he misled the situation. And when I was moving everything out of my shop into storage, I hurt my back. He didn't hurt my back for me. The situation whereby I ended up getting my back hurt would not have come about if I hadn't been nice to him. My fault, right? Moral of the story, man, is that if you do what it is that you've been trained since birth to do, people are going to blame you for doing that. There's a lot of women right now complaining that men won't approach them and ask them out or flirt with them. course, we have to be afraid to do that because there's so many advertisements even about how flirting with someone is sexual assault. It's all women saying these things, isn't it? A man looks her direction, it's sexual assault. Well, no, it's not sexual assault. And that's the reason that women that would like a man to do that don't have men who will do that. No, we're not going to do those things. We could go to prison for it, stupid. Instead of complaining that men won't do these things, how about you stick up for our fucking rights? If you want us to have the right to come up and flirt with you, you gotta fight for that right, lady. Not complain that men won't break the fucking law. And yeah, dumbass, it's now law. If a man comes up and flirts with you and you don't find him attractive, then it's creepy. So how about you wear a shirt with face types that you're interested in. And that way a man can see whether or not you're going to treat him like a rapist or want him to come flirt with you. Or maybe the body type that you are specifically wanting. For God's sake, stop doing this whole needing a sugar daddy thing and then calling men superficial. Men aren't paying for your vaginas, they're paying for your company, and you're making horrible use of that time. You're making horrible use of that money, and you're not getting any life skills other than manipulation out of it. So, in all of my cases, as a homeless person, I am the one that they're going to throw away first. He's a homeless person. Nobody cares about them. The DA's office knows this. The public protender's office knows this. The prosecutor's office knows this. The police know this. The judge knows this. Everybody knows this. Of the United States of America, folks. It's the victim's fault, always. Especially if the victim is a man. A man is less likely to come forward about abuse. And I've been showing you why. How have I been treated since I started exposing this abuse? And then, people who wanted to tell me about abuse wanted to pretend like I was a bad person for speaking up about it. Oh, Sean, how dare you come public about people threatening to kill me and my kids? No, fuck you. Fuck you. A lot of people did evil things, knowing that they were doing wrong things. But it's okay to do that to a man. Yeah. Men, the homeless, anyone who's called mentally ill is what's known as a roll-through. We don't matter. Our rights don't matter. We spend lots of taxpayer dollars. Lots. Mentally ill is an expensive title. You think that people who are out on the streets are dangerous and horrible people. No. You are dangerous to us because of your opinions and your assumptions. And when we defend ourselves, you paint us as mentally ill monsters. God damn. It's the same from one end of the country to the other with these goddamn public pretenders. And you see here how it pops up in the news years after I've been fucking telling you all about it and being called crazy for saying it. I'm not just saying it, I'm also showing it. Judicial misconduct all around. Whether or not you have rights is dependent upon whether or not anyone gives a shit. If you're a pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl, you're 19 years of age and you're still cute, men will literally murder innocent men because you want to pretend he's creepy. You want to feel like what's popular, you get to be a part of. Because now it's popular for a girl to pretend she was a victim as a child. Many of these women, I hear their stories, and I'm like, holy shit, that traumatized you for life? Because that was almost every day of third grade for me. You should ask where I was in third grade. Oh no, one of your mom's friends touched you once when you were 13 and now you're 53. So 40 years ago you were touched. Yeah, I was more than just touched. And it was more than just once. Let's get to Charlie. Charlie is the guy with the black Honda that they claimed he... Mind you, I've been in that parking lot for 7 months. And those people have not taken a single step or measure to kick me out of the parking lot. The cops tried to pull some bullshit a couple time or two, but the business owners there, the people who manage the places, know I'm not out to hurt anybody. They know I'm not lighting their shit on fire. They know I'm not manufacturing explosives and blowing up their buildings. Some of those buildings sell explosives. I wouldn't have to manufacture any. I could just go to the fucking store and buy explosives here. No joke. In the Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot, I'm attached to at least 6 businesses in that parking lot that have things in them that have the potential for explosives. But am I breaking into those places? No, I try to keep them places safe. Fuck, that doesn't help. I gotta pull both of my legs up at once, I guess. Sorry, I got a fucked up back. And I'm not gonna apologize for crying like a little bitch. I have every right to. Chris helped me to wrap my kayak with saran wrap. I destroyed that kayak. Well, I disassembled it and reused all the parts, but not Chris. Charlie, that's his name. Anyway, with Robert Farnsworth threatening me again yesterday, and of course, the recording that I was just listening to so that I could find out what Ashley's last name was. Because I knew they'd told me, I just had to listen to it. So I listened to that, and it's probably about 10 or 15 minutes of those two youngins talking to me. We get overwhelmed. That's the thing with Susan. Like, Susan's got a lot of serious shit going on, and she's not fucking around like Farnsworth. Susan isn't fucking around like Ashley. She's not going around getting fucked up on drugs. She's not getting drunk and doing sloppy, stupid shit. She's not burning foilies with blue pills on them in the Lillian A. Goodspeed parking lot like Jamie did last night. But also, I gotta tell you, even though she's not as likely to be victimized in most scenarios as I am, it is still a possibility. And because she's sober, it is a probability that one of these people who doesn't want to give up their dealer will blame her instead. Oh, who do I know? Who do I know? Oh, well, nobody's going to believe that Dora did it. Or they won't care that Dora did it. They'll just make her a roll through. Let's blame Susan. Let's blame Susan. I'll blame you for what you did. I'll blame Susan for what she did. But it ain't right to blame somebody for shit they didn't do. And if you're going to tell me that somebody did one of those heinous crimes, you should keep in mind that I'm going to try to come forward with it to the police. If that doesn't work, I'm going to come forward with it to the public. All of you who say you think it's nasty that these people do these things, do you ever help me to turn them in? Ever? Do you? Or do you just talk to me about it? God, my ear is fucking nastified. Did I finally get all that fuss out? Yeah, I did. Fuck. You afraid of blood or chunks of ears? That's right. That right there is a chunk of my ear. Easy to get infections when you can't shower regularly. There was a lady who was gonna let me shower and her son was gonna, but life happened. I couldn't find the piece of paper because I live in a shit pit. Anyway, I have zero intention of that. Be afraid that both of them will retaliate against me, as both of them have. Well, I speak up publicly about shit like that. Maybe now the meth